making a note. I want to come back to this. Is this the narrative about tarot readers, spirituality, and seers, or certain people gifts? Now, I know that they trying to run a narrative where they want to discredit and come for spiritualists, and those who are spiritual are not all the same. But they want to make arguments about people and their spirituality and their gifts, how they use them, and they want to do something in correlation with tarot and people putting out information. Now, because they already have the negative narrative and agenda in play, they have put plants in to have people do stuff to go against those people who are truly helping people. This is why I say people who are true speakers and those who are like put on the path to be how they are, versus people who are sitting here and they just being like, oh, they saw somebody doing tarot because they watched the movie or something, and now they want to sit here and they want to do something. Or people who sit there and they are using people who are tarot readers as a subject, or even people who are seers or gifted people as subjects for them to try to come up. And it's like, they would never, people wouldn't do that if they knew and truly understood that they would be doing themselves a disservice if they was to even feed into that type of narrative. Anybody who would sit there and be on the time of going against themselves, because they know essentially they would be going against themselves if they were attacking they themselves, what they do. I mean, that makes sense, right? Most people would understand that, but apparently they don't. It's kind of giving the same thing as I was talking about this a long time ago with AI. And I was telling people about AI and how they had these people who wanted to use AI models. They were going to use people who were stars or famous, so to speak, to go along with pushing and promoting the usage of AI. And it was like, yeah, y'all funny. Because when they start realizing that they using AI for everything, that means that everybody who put time, effort, and money into mastering whatever they mastered, for them to be shown up and taken out and becomes quote unquote obsolete because of a machine being able to put somebody in place of and give them mad money. They don't have to worry about none of their problems. They don't got to worry about no issues or something not being on time. They don't have to worry about a lot of stuff that they would have to worry about with people. They wouldn't be sitting there pushing AI so hard, especially if they were making so much money. That didn't say that they didn't have certain things why AI is a good thing. It just means that you would be smarter than just putting your eggs into the, oh, this is the best thing ever, this is the future of, and then they give you an incentive and say, yeah, talk about this, we'll give you some money. And it's like, you really are literally pushing for that which you're pushing out to take your place. Like, you know that, right? And it was like, at some point, I think in 2019, 2020, people started realizing the fact that they were going to be replaced. All the people who were models and stuff, they had these particular looks. It's like, you looking like you don't understand that you literally pushing for a Sims character to be the face of you. And they don't got to worry about whether or not you're a certain weight or a certain height or whatever. It's like, they could just generate you however they want, or use somebody however they want. Tone, pitch, eye color, something to be exotic or whatever, and then they could push them out there. Anybody could sit here and they could take this model and be like, yo, I'm gonna show you something. People who were sitting here and they was going to school, Juilliard, all these places, to learn music, be classical, symphony, award-winning. How many people they had sitting here learning how to do music and all forms of instruments? That's a check for people to go and they showcasing themselves and say, I know how to do this one, I know how to do that one. And then they sit there and they have the keyboard people who just be like, oh, do like something like that. It's given also people who knew they had to go through for them to be able to come up and be something, to master something, versus people who just sat there and was like, they could just get a shortcut and come in and be like they're a master or something. People who had old money versus new money is giving me that too. So all this must mean something, because it was like saying, where did old money come from and where did new money come from? Now, it wasn't to say that they wasn't giving each other a run for their money. It was just saying you could see the fight between the two, right? Who do you side with? You who actually put in the work for you to be like you mastered something, or you somebody who like you don't want to have to pay for say a painting. Somebody wants a painting done. People don't get paintings done like that the way that they used to. But certain people's traditions, they will have paintings made because they'll have them put up on the walls and stuff. Somebody who will sit there and have to go through the whole thing of taking somebody sitting there and them painting them, as opposed to somebody taking a picture and then them just blowing it up and putting it on something. I've looked at this in different ways. But this is right here, we're talking about mastery and skill, ultimately. And people who sit here and they talk about tarot readers and people who put out information, it's always going to be a thing where you got people who they just want to make some money because they see it as, oh, I could just get some cards and I just get this and I could do that, and then all of a sudden I'm putting out readings and people could pay me and I could just say blah 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 because I watched this people thing talk about how you learn tarot. People who were supposed to be using tarot cards and they have a connection with the spirit realm to be able to use tarot and stuff like that will be able to do that. Everybody should not just be touching something because they decided they wanted to. I'm a firm believer of that. It's like people sitting there and they will touch anything that they see, and it's like, was this for you? Are you supposed to? Did you get permission? It's also like with most things, you will hear people talk about certain things, and some people, because of who they are, they're allowed to touch and be in different things, but other people are not. So it's like, check yourself. That's why I said it's like certain people, everybody for that matter, I think that it's okay for people to cleanse their energy. But once you start getting into other people's cultures and how they do their ceremonies or their ways of doing certain things, it's like if you ain't from there and you don't have permission to do that, and yeah, don't do that. It's a problem. And just because you see somebody do something and you like, oh well, I'm from the same place they are and I look like them, I can do that. No, you can't. Everybody is not the same. Everybody don't have the same clearance as everybody else to be able to do stuff either. And that is another thing about respect. You respect other people's cultures and their traditions and religions. Don't mean you have to agree with everything that they do. You just respect the fact that they have whatever they have and they do whatever they do. That don't mean you doing what they doing, or that they could just do their whatever they got going on is gonna be done on you, or you doing it. It's a whole thing. That's how I feel. Just saying. And I'm looking at the fact that they have a lot of people who wanted to start this narrative and this argument with people who are spiritual and all the stuff that they are pushing, because they look at where they going with movies and stuff as well. Look at how they start to push certain things where they want people to be focused on something, and then those people who are doing that are sitting here literally programming people to act a certain way and do something because they're trying to get stuff off of it. But that's all merchandising. It's always merchandising. Because then what do? Those people who do those things, they also pushing something at the same time. And who they got backing them to push the stuff at the same time. Just saying. I would suggest that anybody who decides to go messing in or playing with or using whatever word it is that you use for you to be using any type of spirituality tool or anything like that, be respectful, and have a right to be able to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. And I also feel like people need to start being smarter and don't play the fool because somebody got a narrative and they want to use you as the face to try to start something. And it's like, yo, you're not using me. A lot of stuff people be doing, they be doing it and they be running this shit and they be having it planned out for time before, where they be sitting here getting certain people to do certain things and to start certain things because they want to run stuff, and it's all political. Remember that too. It's like, you ain't gonna tell me this was a coincidence, because it wasn't a coincidence. Why? Because look at all the stuff that happened before. Look at how often these things be happening and when these things happen. I said, it's like saying, you know that there is nothing that hasn't been done before because it's always cycles of and how they go around. Look at how people was doing stuff when it came to media before they started changing up and making media more digital to now how they got media now. But there's certain things where it's like, it's just a hardcore fact that this is how things are because they had certain rules in place for certain things, and this was the order of how things was going to be. But people were sitting here trying to be like, now they want to make wars where they want to use religion because they want to make stuff go a certain way. They want to use tools and stuff to say they want to make people go a certain way. They want to sit here and say, oh, these type of people, they be causing problems and stuff. Then they fitting people in place to sit here to cause mass problems and stuff like that. And then they push them, give them massive numbers to make them look like they credible, but they sitting there with a thing behind them talking about look at, and then they sitting here pushing shit. You know somebody didn't come in and they all of a sudden, you here for like a week or two, a month or so. You got how many subscribers? What person that sat here started a YouTube channel, they been on their thing, got 200, 300, 500, I've done mad videos. Why am I at 300? I've been on YouTube since YouTube started, and they capped my videos, my subscriber count at 300 something. Keeps going up and down. You see other people, they sitting here 40, 50,000. Then you got other people, they sitting here 100 some thousand. You can't even sit here and say it's particular, it's hype. They knew what they was doing when they was doing it. So it's like, oh, so what you mean? You can't sit here and say it's a talent thing, because people showcasing talent. You can't sit here and say that it's nothing other than they picking and choosing what they doing, because they gonna say everybody has the right to have a channel as long as you're doing and following behind community guidelines. And with you sitting there following behind community guidelines, of which I've been in the tech community, makeup community, which would be the lifestyle community, because it was not just that, it was also hair and lifestyle community. I'm in the crafting community. I'm in the book community. It's like you have all these different communities of where you sitting here, you looking at, or you would be interacting with certain groups and communities on YouTube or any platform for that matter. So you can't just say somebody was sitting here targeting you because you was in spiritual community or you was in religious community, because then that would be what? Going against somebody's constitutional rights? If somebody's sitting here and they promoting people being able to heal themselves, cleanse themselves, that would be lifestyle too. But it's like people want to sit here and they want to say people are certain things because they want to run a narrative. What narrative you running? Where is this thing coming that y'all sitting here? Oh yeah, that's that fabricated evidence. Those false claims and stuff that people be pushing. These things ain't never came out because nobody ain't never did it before. But now all of a sudden they out here. When you be looking at this, where this come from? Who's sitting here running these plans? And then why is it always these big mouth people sitting here being like, oh, well, they running the same agenda? Because those are the people who pushing it. Like they ain't sending out mass emails and text messaging and text threads saying now. Meeting up and being like this. I'm just saying, yo, to me, it just seems like that's what y'all doing. That's where y'all at. How is somebody sitting here targeting me? And all I do, for the most part, is crafting. You gonna say what? You can't say I didn't put in the work. I put in the work. I do my videos. I edit my videos. I will record my videos. I paid for my stuff. If I put out any type of influence on anything, it's either because I've lived it, bought it and used it, sitting here giving an opinion about it, or saying this will work for someone. I have my own thing about why and how I do what I do. Don't got nothing to do with nobody else's anything. Because you didn't pay for my stuff. And you not me. You are you. So it's like how somebody sit here, if I recall, because I'm thinking now, the only people who sitting here and they doing stuff like that is the beef sector. The beef sector, well, I ain't been on the beef sector and YouTube to see what they got going on with stuff in a very long time. Shoot, I don't even know what they got going on in media like that because I ain't been looking at media stuff in a very long time. I look at what I'm into. That's why I don't be knowing what nobody be doing, because you be looking at what you looking at. You ain't looking at nothing else, and it don't got nothing to do with you. But that being said, those people who sat there and stole my stuff and they trying to run a narrative, oh yeah, I'm suing the fuck out of you. I like to put that in here every single chance I get, because I want you to be waiting for the fact that when I find out where you are and I get these people to give me the information I need so that I can come after y'all asses and sue you, that you get that. Not only do you go to jail, because I want you to get seen. I want you to be in jail because you're thieves. Y'all thieves of joy. Y'all thieves of life. Y'all thieves of work. You thieves, and y'all thieves of a lot. And y'all think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't feel like people should lead people astray and have them going the wrong way. That's just me personally. But everybody has their thing. They have a choice in where they're going with this or they're going with that. The fact that people be sitting here trying to force people to go the wrong way because they want them to do something versus somebody doing something on their own and it being their choice says a lot. You got more people in here, on here, who have been doing stuff to make people be forced to have to live a certain way versus people sitting there choosing to live a certain way. That right there is the reason why people be like, start looking into yourself, start claiming your sovereignty, but know why and for what reasons, and freeing yourself. Start freeing yourself. And also, I don't sit here and be running and playing with tarot to the guy who came to my house and was like, oh, you be doing tarot, right? No. And that person knows that I was seeing stuff. Because I get messages and I tell the messages to the person that is either in front of me or whatever. It's like I channel stuff. That's one of the things that I do. But I also know that y'all like to take over people's channels. Literally. Y'all like to sit here and push agendas so that people will sit here and follow behind what y'all want them to follow behind versus them being led. Y'all like to sit there and hijack people and have them put out stuff or things happen because you want something to happen and you think you're not going to pay for that? You think that shit's funny and it's okay? Yeah. No, it's not. No, it's not. When somebody's sitting here and I've had this thought, I'm ending on this one. There ain't that very many people who are mediums or channelers. There is not that very many people who could sit there and get a message from somebody who's passed on, and then their loved one gives you something to give to them, and then this could be something that'll help them with their life. That they might not get the message, and this might help them out. So I would suggest that y'all be mindful of that when y'all doing stuff, because think about how many people need somebody to sit there to voice for them what they can't get the voice of unless they do something in another way. And seeing as how y'all like messing with them, well, I'm sure y'all be ready for them to come see you about that. Just saying.